Tachanka used to be one of the most popular and iconic operators in Rainbow Six Siege, being a big meme in the community and having one of the funnest abilities being his gun stand, where he would hold down areas with the mounted LMG or gun stand. But even though his ability was never very good, it was one of the funnest abilities back a couple years ago. But sadly, back in Year 5, Season Neon Dawn, they would end up completely reworking him and changing his gadget for the worst. They would give him a grenade launcher, which on paper is good, but it really was not that good. So if Tachanka's rework was not good, what was his grenade launcher? What did it do? And what about his grenade launcher was bad? Well, I will get into that now. And also, I will explain why they should bring back his old ability, his gun stand. Tachanka's ability is a grenade launcher that shoots out grenades of fire and sets the surrounding area on fire, and is meant to keep enemies from flanking from a certain way or coming from a certain way to kind of scare off the enemy. So that is his ability. Now I'll explain why it is bad. So first off, Tachanka's grenade launcher is not even good on what its main focus is. Its main focus is to be able to hold off enemies from entering an area. But it is very bad at doing that. Like shown in the gameplay, the fire goes away after 7 seconds, which is very bad because it's supposed to keep enemies away, while just after 7 seconds, they don't have to worry about the fire and they can just run through, destroying the purpose of his ability. Next thing that's bad about his ability is the damage of his fire. This is the thing that is supposed to scare off the enemies, but it is actually horrible. It does 12 damage each second someone is in the fire, which is very bad. The enemies can just run through the fire because of how bad and weak it is. Another thing that is bad about his ability is the time it takes to reload his launcher. It can take a long time to reload his launcher, which can mean that the enemies could have already breached or came in through the place you are holding because it takes so long to reload. But this is just as an example. I do not think it should take that long to reload. So all that stuff shows how weak his ability is. Now I'll talk about his loadout. Now I'm on to the one good thing about Tachanka, his loadout. He has some of the best guns and gadgets. He has one of the best primary weapons on defending, being the VSN, and it has an ACOG. He also has the Bearing 9, which is also one of the best secondary weapons in the game. And you cannot forget about his LMG, which should be mounted and loaded. This can be very good for making rotates, but other than that, it isn't that good. So now, after everything I've talked about, now I will explain why they should bring back old Tachanka and a bit on what I've talked about and how it ties into why they should bring back old Tachanka. First, since new Tachanka's ability is not good, Ubisoft should bring back old Tachanka. But Ubisoft would need to buff him in order for Tachanka to have a chance in current Siege. So here are my buff ideas. So for my first buff idea, I think Ubisoft could make it so Tachanka's turn could move 360 or all around. This would help when enemies are just out of reach because old Tachanka could not move his turn 360, and sometimes he would die because he couldn't see the enemy or shoot them. So that's the first buff I would give him. Personally, I think it's a pretty good buff. But yeah, on to the next buff. For the next buff, this one's pretty small, but I think they could make his head shield that was on his turn a little stronger, so it would make it a little harder to headshot him. But now, on to the last buff. I know, this one was pretty short, but I think it would help. So now, on to the last buff. This one I think could make a big help, or maybe would not do that much. But the buff is, Ubisoft could make it so Tachanka could lean while on his turret, so he could get better angles. But that was the last buff. Let me know what you think of the buffs in the comments. And also, if you have any buffs, if you have any buffs in mind, put it down in the comments as well. But we are not done with this video, so moving on. So, on the last part of the video, I wanted to talk more about why they should bring old Tachanka back. So, as said before, new Tachanka's ability is not good, but that's not all. Old Tachanka's ability was probably maybe the funnest out of all the operators, but now he is not really fun anymore, or as fun. But if Ubisoft brought old Tachanka back, people who used to like him and had fun with him would play with him and have fun again with him. So, Tachanka, if Ubisoft brought him back, they could maybe make him good, or at least decent, with his turret, and he would be fun. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe for gaming videos and memes. If you guys agree with me in this video or disagree, put Y in the comments, and see y'all later. Bye.